pointed out, the present situation with global terrorism, and even though the LTT infrastructure has been completely destroyed in Sri Lanka, its financial network still remains mostly intact. Therefore, what kind of challenges it poses. And then we had a presentation from Colonel Chandana Wickramasinghe about what he said is really national security through neo-realist approach. And it is interesting that even though we use the word security in the singular, we have to use it in the plural, in the sense that we have to be concerned about securities of a lot of groups. Very interesting. And then we had Ms. Madanayaka's presentation, analysis of the intentions of the United States defense strategy in South Asia. And she has, I think, purposely used the word intentions, which is a difficult one to assess. And then we had two presentations, last two presentations, mostly one on Indo-Sri Lanka bilateral relations. I think it's a very, optimistic presentation about bilateral relations. And finally, Major Lasantha Hemachandra's presentation about the activities in the Indian Ocean. And I'm sure it's a lot of food for thought. And now the floor is open to questions. Yes, 10 minutes. Thank you. Yes, madam. Mics, please. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chair. I have a comment and a question. Since two of the speakers mentioned about China's strategy, the string of pearls, so I feel that I must make a clarification upon our strategy. I can assure you that we don't have such a strategy, the string of pearls. That's the projection of from maybe India or other nations. What we have is only a global vision which connects Asia and parts of Africa and parts of Europe. That's one belt and one road. That will be our central, you can use the word strategy, or foreign policy for the next 10 years while President Xi is in power. We are not following the Western way of thinking, the old geopolitical thinking that a nation must strive for hegemony or struggle of power. And China does not aim at hegemony in the region or in the world. We haven't considered kind of dominate the region at all. We believe that prosperity will lead to security and stability for a nation or for a region, and so that we believe that countries can cooperate, and through cooperation we can help our neighbors, because a stable and prosperous neighborhood is very important for China, and that is in China's interest. So we want to fulfill this one belt, one road vision, so that it is more like a collective prosperity and security for all the developing nations. Okay, that's about our strategy. And my question is for Admiral Calambert. It's a very, it's an excellent speech. I'm kind of ignorant of the situation in Sri Lanka, so I'm not, I don't know about the present strength of LTTE and what's, how severe its present threat to Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Can you, you're asking about the present state of?
Yes, the present strength of the LTTE and its threats.
Okay, thank you, dear, for the question and also for the comment. So may I comment on the comment? And even I don't like to use the term string of pearls when we talk about Indian Ocean, because this is a coin turned by the West. And so we should really not use it, the word per se. And we must try to understand that the Indian Ocean is a free ocean for everybody, and everyone has the right to freedom of commerce, and therefore anyone is welcome. Only concern I believe expressed was that whether there are any military intentions other than the economic intentions. And we do understand we need to prosper together as the rising tide, everyone has to rise. But the concern is actually whether there are any military intentions. So that is why all these terms and harbors and even the map Sri Lanka was shown, but I don't think it is the case. Hambantota is not a Chinese port. It was built by China. So I'm not defending any side, but I just want to say that. As far as the Sri Lankan situation is concerned, we had a 26-year-old war. On 19th May 2009, the war ended. Despite the conventional wisdom to say that the insurgency should be handled by political means, while we were handling it by political means, we went on the military path, having tried various ceasefire agreements, various negotiations, and then we embarked on an operation called the humanitarian operation, and that ended successfully defeating militarily the LTTE in the soil of Sri Lanka. So luckily, fortunately, from that day to date, now it's almost 7 years, no terrorism-related incident in Sri Lanka, none whatsoever. There were very minor, 1 or 2 incidents. So we can take happiness and credit for that. And only thing is, as the chair mentioned, although the LTTE is militarily decimated in Sri Lanka, they are active politically in the international system. They are actively collecting funds still in the international system, in the capitals of Western countries, including America, Canada, Europe. And their aim is now to go on with a political campaign internationally to make this case heard again. Now they have tried to get it militarily and they have not been able to obtain it. So now the threat is actually not within Sri Lanka, but outside Sri Lanka in the international domain, mainly carried out by the, we call the remnants of the LTTE, or we can call them the diaspora. But it is dangerous to use the word diaspora because Tamil diaspora mean about 600 to 800,000 people, but all of them are not sympathizers, all of them are not contributing to the LTTE cause. But the remnants of the LTTE who escaped the war and settled down in those countries are continuing the struggle. So they have not really given up the hope for a separate state. So that is the area we have to be mindful now. Thank you.
Yes, over there.
So I'm Commander Joseph. I have a question to former Commander of the Navy, and I think this is the only time we get a chance to question the Commander. Sir, this question is about ISIS. Now we haven't talked about ISIS reverting to maritime sphere. I think if that takes place, we are heading to real disaster. We have enough of experience learned from LTTE. And what do you think, sir, when at a time ISIS revert into maritime domain and start their activities? There will be a real crucial issue. And a comment on what Ms. Madanayaka's speech. I think 21st cooperative strategy given by the US spell out why they look not only towards Asia, but Indo-Pacific Asia. I think that's the area where they're going to concentrate now. The reason why US more engaged with the Navy in Sri Lanka is their focus is towards maritime interest. So that's, I just want to add that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rohan. Of course, you can question me anytime, no problem. And well, you are absolutely right, but I did not focus on the ISIS and the maritime terrorism because my topic was on the totally a different one. Well, there is a huge potential. Of course, right now, I think the world can take a sigh of relief because the ISIS activities are going down due to various factors, and they are not the lethal force what they were like a year ago. So that's good news for the whole world. And